Derivatives. We'll discuss about the derivatives today. Derivatives, that normally the term derivative, when we heard the term derivative, so now many students or many people will think that what it is, and it is more related to stock market, many things. Many questions arises in our mind. Yes, of course, many questions arises in our mind because purely this derivatives are related to stock market. It means not only stock market, more about speculative business, speculative transactions, derivatives. And the term derivatives, it is nothing but a financial document, any kind of one document which has an underlying asset, which is derived, the underlying asset which is derived from many other underlying assets. Any instrument which is derived from or derived based on many other documents, many other assets, that is called as derivatives. Normally, the derivative could be based on many assets. It could be equities, it could be debt, it means loan, it could be various currencies, or it could be many commodities like agricultural products, many other things. So that all derivatives or covers of this financial instruments called derivatives covers all these assets. It means based on based on these financial assets, or it may be equities, shares, or various assets, one instruments will be issued. One there will be one agreement between the parties, and that agreements are traded. That agreements are valid documents and can be used as a property. It means financial documents. So that concept is called as derivatives. Then derivatives includes has four types. Derivatives has four types. One is forward, future, options, and swaps. And there is one more modern term called swaptions, but I have not included there. In next slide and future classes, will discuss about that also. One is forward, then futures, not features, then options, then swap. There is one more concept called swaptions. It is now nowadays that swaptions concept, it means types of contract also getting more popular. And now many students or many people will not understand when we explain the meaning in technical terms, so like derivatives, financial assets, many other things. So you will be having on confusion what it is derivatives again. So normally there is a concept called hedging. Hedging is nothing but reducing the risk. For example, I have a fear of risk. Tomorrow, if anything happens to my shares, or tomorrow, if anything happens to my property, or tomorrow, anything happens to my agricultural products, all these are risk. I have a fear. Fear is nothing but risk, because where fear arises, where there will be a or there may be a risk. To avoid this risk, it means to reduce the risk. What I can do, I can do some agreement, means I can go for an agreement, or I can do some alternatives. I can find various alternative methods to reduce the risk. So when the price is fluctuating, normally the happy person also will be in shocking. When price start declining, when the market started declining, when the expected profits are not able to give a proper returns, then normally every individual who are having a good expectation of profit also will be in shocking, because their entire returns, what they expected, is lost. In such cases, what they can do, what I can do, what you can do, you expected that. For example, I'll take a simple example of farmer. He expected that good return, and he harvested. He started cultivating one product. It may be anything, wheat or paddy or any agricultural product or vegetables, many things. Due to some uncertainty, he lost the entire crop. Then what happens? Where is he expected so much, but he didn't get a proper return. Unexpectedly, something happened to his crop. He lost everything. That is also one risk. and he expected that, for example, I'm a farmer, I'm growing tomatoes. I expected that 1 tons of tomatoes I'll grow this time in this harvest season, but I expected 1 tons of tomatoes. That much I was able to uh, grow it, but there is no proper price due to lockdown. Government announced lockdown immediately. People, brokers are not ready to buy tomatoes at the exact price. It means at the high price. Tomato price was at, for example, 20 rupees. Now it is come, it has come to 5 rupees. I expected that 20 rupees, and I was happy this time I could earn more profit like that. But suddenly prices reduced to 5 rupees. What I can do? My entire expectation, my entire investment is in loss, investment is in risk. To avoid this risk, what I can do? What I can do? Only thing, I can reduce the risk by coming to an agreement with the other related parties. It means other opponent parties. So all these derivatives, mainly originally, this derivative, the concept of derivative started to reduce or to hedge. It means hedge is nothing but reducing this risk, to reduce the risk of agricultural products. Mainly the concept of derivative was introduced to reduce the hedging of risk, or to reduce, sorry, hedging of risk are both the same, to reduce the risk or to hedge the agricultural risk. And later on it also entered to financial aspects, financial risks also. And a farmer, one example will understand this derivatives more or in better way with this example. A farmer grows agricultural produce. It may be a paddy or wheat, many things. Okay, we'll take an example of paddy. So when, as a farmer, he grows agricultural produce, what he expects that he can sell that agricultural produce at a higher price. Normally everyone want to sell their products at a higher price. He also, a farmer also expects that he could sell his agricultural produce at the higher price. But what happens? The price declines, if the price reduces, or if the expected price, if he not get expected price, he has a fear, that is, he has a risk. So on the other hand, to whom he will sell? For example, there is one merchant who has a store, uh, grocery store. He needs paddy, or he needs rice, wheat, for wheat flour, many other things. He need agricultural produce for his shop. Then what he'll do? He also has an idea that he could buy the products at the lesser price and sell it at the high price. When everyone will do this as a business, they'll buy at the less price and they wanted to sell at the high price. As a farmer wanted to sell at the high price, same way, on the other hand, buyer as a dealer or as a shopkeeper, merchant also wants to buy all these produces at the lesser price, and had a idea of selling at high price and making more profit. But what happens if the price suddenly increases? Can't buy at the less price. Whatever investment he had, whatever thoughts he had us in mind, everything will be lost because of price fluctuations. Price may fluctuate. It means price may increase or decrease. Both the parties, farmer and merchants, will be in trouble. To avoid that, what these both parties will do, they'll come to an agreement. They'll come to an agreement. In this agreement, they'll try to agree that they'll decide an agreement. They decide one price. They'll decide one price, or it is not only price, or they may decide that this many quantities you need to sell after 1 month, or when you get a yield, when you get a agricultural produce yield, after maybe after 3 months or after 6 months, when you get agricultural produce or rice or paddy, anything, so you are supposed to sell all, or sell 100 quintals of wheat to me. So where farmers also is in secured situation, that he'll not be in trouble that if no one purchases my agricultural produce. Farmer also is in one secured mindset that his agricultural produce will be sold, and on the other hand, merchant also has one opportunity that he will not have any risk of loss of agricultural produce or risk of price fluctuation, many things, because there will be one agreement today itself based on the, it means today they'll come to an agreement, but actual transaction date, when the transaction date will happen, may happen in future dates. This is a simple example of derivatives, and this is not only applicable to agricultural produce. Now only few agricultural, it means only few farmers are involved in this kind of agriculture, it means agreement between the parties, but actually now at present these derivatives are more related to the financial aspects, shares or currency exchanges. When I wanted to, as a student, I wanted to study in abroad, I wanted to study in abroad, for example USA, I'm studying in or I wanted to study in USA. Now for example currency exchange rate is 75. Okay, let me take an example of 75. To study in US, I need, as a student, how much I need? As a student, I need for example $2,000 every day. Sorry, every month. Okay, $2,000 every day, it is too expensive. For every 1 month I need a $2,000 every month, but as per the current exchange rate, Indian rupee against the dollar is 75 rupees. This is rupee value, 75 rupees today. Today in this month 75 it is there. Okay, I'll convert it. One of my friend is there in India, because my home, my actual country is India. I have traveled from India to US. I need to get money from my father or my family. My family every month they need to send $2,000 to US. When they are sending $2,000, now at present it is 75 rupees, they'll convert it easily. If the money value depreciates, if the rupee value depreciates, if the rupee value depreciates means, depreciating the rupee value means the value of rupee, this exchange rate goes up. If it reaches 80 rupees, what happens? My family can't send the same amount of $2,000 at 75 rupees. Now the value is increased. There is a risk. This month I got $2,000. Next month I may not get $2,000. There's also one kind of risk. To avoid this risk, both parties, it means there will be parties involved in this contract, type of contracts, they'll come to an agreement that, okay, I'll do one thing. Every month I'll send $2,000 to you at 75 rupees for next 6 months. Like that, they'll come to an agreement. And here, the agreement, that is a financial asset, that's a financial instrument. For this financial instruments, what is an underlying asset or underlying transactions? That is currency. And in the previous example, in the farmer's example, what was the underlying asset? In that previous example, the agricultural produce was the example. All this, like this, derivative transactions happens.